Okay, so this is a screen that I'm not sure whether or not I will use it again, but I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to use my my press wash, and I'm going to get this screen cleaned up for storage. So any image that I think I might use within the next year, use the same screen again because of a reorder or just something that I'm not quite done with. I'll clean the ink off of it as well as possible. I'll take all of the tape off of it and then I'll just store it. And the reason that I want to do that is because that takes degreasing and reclaiming. That takes burning a new image. That takes drying the thing over and over again. Just completely out of the process. I have enough screens that I'm not like scrounging for screens. I've got a screen here that I'm going to keep because I might print this same image again. And so I'm just going to use some press wash. I'm gonna get as much of the ink off of it as possible, and then I'll show you what that looks like. So I started off by just taking all of the ink off of the image. Taking as much of the ink off as possible, and this one I reused, so I put the green ink back into the bucket. And now I'm just taking the tape off. One of the things that's important is to try to keep your tape as long as possible so that it's just really easy to take off. So I just zip the ink right off of there. That keeps the ink, the tape keeps the ink from going through the sides of your image. So again, I would just use my press wash, a couple squirts, not too much, paper towel, and on this, I'm really going to try to do as good of a job as possible. I'm going to get as much ink off of this as possible. Somebody asked me if I use gloves, and sometimes I use gloves, but I'm not going anywhere today, so having a little ink on my hands is not a big deal. So I'm gonna get as much of this ink off as possible. Use a little bit of press wash. Doesn't take a lot of press wash, but it definitely makes your job easier. Don't script too much up. Okay, and then on the other side, same thing. So I'm just going to get both sides. As much of the ink out of your mesh as possible. This, I'll be honest with you, this image has been sitting here for quite a while, so the ink's set in there fairly well. So this image in particular has been sitting on my press for a couple weeks now. So I'm just going to use my press wash. I'm going to get as much of the ink out of it as possible. You take all of the ink out of the image. And then I'll be able to store this thing for a good amount of time. I've never had one really break down and be a problem. So I just try to take all of the ink out of the image and get as much ink off as possible and have the screen be as clean as possible for storage. Basically, this tape just covers the registration mark. So this tape covers the registration marks. I'm just going to pull that tape off of here. So now with the tape off, we're all ready to put this away and use it another day. Anyway, I hope this helped you out, and happy printing.